do I have a story to tell you guys about Pokemon Go. Oh my gosh. This is not only the craziest thing I've ever had happen to me while playing Pokemon Go. This is the craziest thing I've ever had happen to me in any video game, and arguably one of the craziest things I have ever experienced in my life. This story I'm about to tell you all right now. This was literally the stuff you see in anime, TV show, movie, storybook type stuff. You couldn't make this up. And this story might sound fake because of how absolutely insane it sounds. Me, my brothers were at my cousin's house on Father's Day 2022. For those that don't know, Mewtwo was in raids at this time. I've done 99 raids for it. I've been grinding for 100 IV Mewtwo. Because the first ever Mewtwo raid I did last summer was a weather boosted 100 IV and it ran away. So ever since then, I've been grinding Mewtwo raids as much as I possibly can to try to get 100 IV. Have yet to be successful doing that. But nonetheless, last summer, I was out looking for these 100 IV Mewtwo's. We were doing as many raids as we possibly could. I was at my cousin's house with my brothers. We were walking around the town playing Pokemon Go, and we were doing this Mewtwo raid outside this church. There was people out front of the church doing stuff, like actively outside doing stuff. It doesn't really matter what they were doing. There was a group of people out there doing stuff. People were coming and going. And we were sitting there at this picnic table off to the side, about probably 15 yards from the entrance, playing Pokemon Go doing this raid. And this guy comes up to us and asks us, are you playing Pokemon? Which I thought was kind of interesting at first, because normally people ask us, what are we doing on our phones when people ask you, like, you're out playing Pokemon Go, you have people ask you what you're doing. Normally they ask you, oh, hey, what are you playing? Normally we say, oh, playing this Pokemon game. They're like, oh, I've heard of that before. No. This guy came over and said, are you playing Pokemon Go? So he knew of Pokemon Go. He clearly knew there was stuff right there. And we were like, oh, yeah, we are. And he's like, do you know of this guy? I don't want to say the guy's name, but he's like, do you know this guy? Will say his name's David. Do you know David? I'm like, no, I've never, we don't know who he is. He's like, oh, well, he's a Pokemon master. He goes to church here. He lives in that house over there. He points across the street to this house. He's like, he lives right there. This guy's a Pokemon master. You should go over to him and say hi. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah. We kind of like laughed it off and like, yeah, whatever. And we beat the raid, leave, walk away. We're like, hey, man, have a good day. He's like, remember the Pokemon Master's over there. Make sure you guys go say hi. We're like laughing it off, like, yeah, whatever. We're like, this guy probably there's some guy over there that goes, some old dude that goes to the church, and he's talking to them, like, he tells him about Pokemon once before, and this guy thinks he's like the best guy ever for whatever reason. So we literally laugh it off, and we're walking over to another gym at another raid about 3-4 blocks away. And obviously, as we're going, because the guy pointed to where this dude lives. We're walking past this dude's house. We're looking at the house. We're like, could you imagine if this guy, like, actually is, like, cracked at Pokemon? Like, we were literally joking. My little brother's like, imagine he's level 50. If he is, I'm going to take his phone from him and trade all his good Pokemon to my account. Like, we were joking about it, laughing it off, because, like, no way this guy's actually going to be, like, anyone in the game or anything like that. And like I said, the guy gave us his actual name, first and last name, so we'll say David Smith. His name was David Smith. So we look up David Smith online, and we found a picture of the guy, because we were thinking maybe he, like, used to be big with, like, maybe the Pokemon TCG, maybe he did, like, actual, like, tournaments and stuff, maybe he did tournaments with, like, the main series games, maybe he did something before, and he's actually someone we don't know about, so maybe we can find something of it. We look it up. We find some article about him. I don't remember what the article was. It wasn't about Pokemon. David Smith didn't have anything about Pokemon on him across the whole internet. We didn't find a single thing. But we did see a picture of him. It was some random old guy. We're like, yeah, right, this guy's some Pokemon master. So we're sitting there at the next raid. Like I said, we were joking about it the whole time, walking down. And I gotta set the controller down for this. I gotta tell you guys this. I'm sitting there, we're at front of some other building, and there's this staircase in front of it. I'm sitting there at the top of the staircase. My brothers and cousins are around me. I'm looking at my phone. We're sitting there waiting for the raid to start. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, including me. So we have 5 people in the raid total. Sitting there waiting for the raid to start. No one else was joining the raid or anything like that. Then I'm looking up. There's nobody in front of me or anything like that. No one else driving around, no one walking around. And then someone else joins the raid. And the username is David Smith. The username was the guy's actual name, but it was his name. He joined the raid. He's level 49 in Pokemon Go. And the thing is, I look up, and he's just right there. Like, I swear on my life, I looked up, no one was there. Look down on my phone, this guy joins the raid, I look up, he's standing right there. It was literally like he just spawned across the street and joined the raid. And he's level 49. He walks over to us, gentlemen, doing the Mewtwo raid? We're like, yes, we're doing the Mewtwo raid. And he's like, all right, sounds good, I'll join you guys. We smoke the raid. This guy was absolutely cracked out of his mind, insane in Pokemon Go. And then I asked him afterwards, I'm like, are you David Smith? You're level 49? He's like, yeah, I'm 100,000 XP off of level 50. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm retired, and I don't really have anything to do, so I started playing Pokemon Go. He says he walks about 15 miles a day or something like that playing the game. He said he walked over... I have him added. I think I can see exactly how far he's walked. But he then is telling us about the game. He's like, you guys can add me if you want to. He holds up his phone, and just on the back of his phone case, he has his trainer code right there. He's walked 28,000 kilometers in Pokemon Go. Caught a little under 500,000 Pokemon, and has won 59,000 battles, and is level 50. And again, this was just some random old guy that this dude at the church told us about, and we thought was an absolute joke. Turns out this guy's a legitimate Pokemon master and is level 50 in the game. It was absolutely insane. And the funniest thing he said to us is, here, you guys can add me. And I swear this is what he said. He said, next week I'm traveling to Australia to catch Relicanth. He's going to this is some random old guy that's just retired and is just playing Pokemon Go for fun. He said he's traveling across the world to Australia just to catch Relicanth. He's like, if you guys want one, when I come back, I'll trade him to you. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I added him in the game, and literally he said to me, he's like, I'll add you guys, but if you guys don't send me gifts and stuff, I'll unadd you because my friends list is always full. So I made sure, dude, every single morning, the first thing I do when I wake up, I'm brushing my teeth, and I go to send David Smith a gift. I always make sure to send him a gift right in the morning because I'm like, I can't have this guy unadd me. The thing is now, I'm lucky friends with him. And he said to us, he's like, if you guys ever want me to trade you anything, let me know. I have everything. I can trade you guys whatever you want. I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I want a shiny Lugia. I've yet to get one. And so I've gone back with my brothers to my cousin's house multiple times. We're out playing Pokemon Go. We're out there. We've gone on community days. We've gone on events. We have yet to find David Smith again. My cousins say they'll see him every so often, like when they're just driving past. But, like, I want to find him because I think my brother has lucky friends with him, too. Both of us have lucky friends with him, and we want to go trade with him because he said he'll trade us whatever we want. And I want to get a shiny Lugia from him. Also, too, because, like, the story with how we met him and everything was just so crazy. And the thing is, too, we joke about this. We're like, well, we literally know where he lives because the guy pointed to his house and said, oh, that's where he lives. But I keep saying, they're like, let's just go to his house and ask him. I'm like, no. We can't go to his house. We can't go to the static spawn where we know he's going to be. We have to get a wild encounter and find him in the wild to trade the lucky trade with him. So I'm out there hunting for him every single time we go over to my cousin's house. One day we're going to find him. Imagine David Smith just shows up in the stream one day. If I ever find a way to stream Pokemon Go, that would be my goal. I'm going to title the stream, Finding David Smith, the Pokemon Master. That's what the title of the stream is going to be. And we're going to stream until we find him out over at my cousin's house. But dude, like I said, that is, and like, you can't, literally, the guy said, oh, there's a Pokemon Master over there. We laughed it off, acted like it was no big deal. Walk over to the raid. Random guy joins the raid. I look up, no one there, look down, look up again. There he is right in front of us, literally as if he spawned in front of us. And he's not just any Pokemon player. He's level 49, almost level 50. Within a week, he had gotten to level 50. And he said to us he's traveling to Australia to catch a regional Pokemon, Relicanth. Like, dude, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced playing any Pokemon game, any video game. One of the craziest experiences I've had in my life because of how mind-blowing the whole situation actually was. That's the story of how I found a real-life Pokemon Master.